Some of the greatest minds in British history were nurtured at Cambridge University. Think of Isaac Newton, Alan Turing, Bill Oddie. The list is endless. This is an institution committed to the pursuit of truth and knowledge, free inquiry and free speech. This is no better encapsulated than in the Cambridge Union, where visiting speakers thrash out contentious issues and are challenged by some of the brightest young people in the world, or at least that's the idea. So this week it was reported that the president of the union had drawn up a blacklist of speakers who would never be invited on again because of the risk that they might cause offence. This was in the wake of a recent appearance by art historian Andrew Graham Dixon, who had impersonated Hitler during a debate about good taste. And apparently this had offended a number of students. I'm not sure why. I mean, perhaps they were annoyed that he hadn't even bothered with a costume. You know, at least when Prince Harry did it, he made an effort. But why would Andrew Graham Dixon's speech be considered offensive? I mean, did any of these students really think that this renowned art historian was impersonating Hitler in order to promote the values of the Third Reich? And if they really are that stupid, they really shouldn't be at Cambridge University at all. They should be sitting at home, entertaining themselves with an abacus or something like that. And of course, while most students see this kind of pearl clutching from their peers and they just roll their eyes, not least because it encourages the media to unfairly dismiss an entire generation as snowflakes, it is becoming more and more common among a vocal minority, particularly those who go into student politics. I mean, the National Union of Students has an especially poor record on supporting free and open debate. I mean, the NHS has effectively turned into an authoritarian pressure group that gets you a 10% discount at Matalan. And it goes without saying that nobody is entitled to a platform, and therefore nobody's free speech is threatened by a private body like the Cambridge Union deciding not to invite them. But they ought to be criticised for this, not least because the union's stated purpose, one that it proudly declares on its website, is to expose its members to the widest spectrum of opinion. Now, the plot thickened a few days ago when John Cleese, who had been booked to appear at the union on Friday, decided to pull out because he'd read about this blacklist. And he pointed out that he had also impersonated Hitler and therefore probably wasn't welcome. Because this is the thing, a lot of people have impersonated Hitler. Charlie Chaplin, Freddie Starr, Taika Waititi. I mean, even this baby had a crack at it. And this goldfish did a pretty good job as well. Now, the novelist Louis de Bernier, the author of Captain Corelli's Mandolin, also asked to be added to the blacklist because, as he said, Hitler impressions are, quote, something that almost all of us have done occasionally over the past 80 years. Yeah, I'm not sure about that either, but I do understand his point. How have we reached the point where people are so literal-minded that they think that ridiculing one of the most evil men in history is a form of endorsement? This is like when Ricky Gervais has said that too often people confuse the subject of a joke with the target of a joke. And the thing is, comedy cannot exist without the potential to cause offence. I could tell a knock-knock joke and upset someone if, say, their wife had been recently crushed by a heavy door. We can all take reasonable steps to avoid being offending. We could all choose not to watch certain films or to attend certain comedy shows or to read certain books if we think that the subject matter might upset us. And that is fair enough. But there are no guarantees. Part of being alive is that we're likely to be offended from time to time. And this is a lesson those who are calling for restrictions on free speech have yet to grasp. If you really want to insulate yourself from the very possibility of offence, that means withdrawing from human society altogether. Now, in fairness to the President of the Union, he has said that he misspoke. And he's now said that in future, visiting speakers may say what they wish in our chamber. Just as well, really, given that that's the whole point of the union. And look, the thing is, these are young people. They're going to get things wrong. But if you're really worried about the rise of authoritarianism, I'd suggest that impersonations of Hitler shouldn't be your priority. I would suggest you keep an eye on the kinds of people who, I don't know, draw up secret blacklists maybe, or who seek to decide for themselves what the limits of acceptable speech ought to be. There's quite a few of them in government at the moment, so maybe we should start there.